Brawl means fight. Okay, brawl means fight, because yesterday some people were asking me in the question, what is the meaning of brawl? Brawl baneko jhagda, fight. Okay. Okay. Then where did the brawl take place? So where did the brawl take place? The brawl did not take place at the station, but on the train. Okay. So you have to write incoming train to this place, or you have to write Painesville Elva Low Station train. Okay. Which means you're writing the direction of the train. Okay. What injuries did he sustain? Only bullet wound is enough, or you can write punctured lung due to bullet wound. But the important thing is bullet wound. Okay. That is important. Then which unit did he belong to? Somebody is asking me a question. The case was under investigation. I will come back to your question, but the correct answer is the case is under investigation, because under investigation, which means at the time of writing the report, the case is ongoing. Okay. So you can write present tense. Even if you write past tense, I think it's okay, but better is present tense. Okay. Okay. That's a minor thing. I don't think you are going to lose marks for that, but the correct tense is present tense. There are a lot of reports in the market where they write was under investigation, but is better. Okay. Then question number 10. I think this, a lot of people were confused yesterday in the class. Vowed means to promise. The meaning of vow means to promise. So what did the UN Police Commissioner promise? That he would take appropriate disciplinary action. Okay. Then this is the sample report. So in sample report, remember, you have to write a title, homicide or death of man. Okay. Okay. Because Oscar Grant was shot dead, right? Okay. And you have to write in the report, you have to try and combine information. Okay. Try and summarize the information. Okay. So in the first paragraph, the introduction, I've only written time, date, detail. Okay. What exactly happened? What call did they receive and what did they do? So they received a call and then they went to the station. Okay. Then when they went to the station, what did they do? First, they removed Oscar Grant and some other men. Then they handcuffed one of Grant's friends. Fight on a train. That's also fine. Yeah, but it's a bit long, but it's okay. But the recommendation that I have from people who are more experienced than me in the exam is that ideally the title should be 3 to 4 words, not more than that. So fight on a train is also okay. But what if we look at the case, how the story goes ahead, then what happened is the story doesn't continue about the fight, right? The main story is that somebody was murdered. So homicide is better. Okay. Okay. Then always think about what is the main story. Fight on a train is how the story started. But halfway through the story, the murder is the focus of the story, right? Or the homicide, that is the focus of the story. Okay. Okay. Then here in some places, I've combined details of the narrative as well as the reading. Okay. And if you keep going ahead, then everything that I've highlighted in yellow is from the narrative. The blue part is from the dialogue. In yesterday's dialogue, there was not too much new information. There was some new information about Grant's criminal background, which was actually in both the narrative and the dialogue. Okay. Alba's age, that comes up in, and how long did he work for the force, that comes up in the narrative. And also you will write in brief, what did he say? That he wanted to arrest Grant, but mistakenly shot him. Okay. The important details here that a lot of people missed yesterday in the physical class was, what was he, this part. Okay. This is important because this one, what were the charges filed against him and what did he plead for? What did his lawyer plead for? This is important because you're writing about somebody died, there was a murder committed, somebody was charged, and what did they plead? That should be your conclusion. Grant was shot dead is fine, but that is not enough as a conclusion. Okay. Okay. Any quick questions on this? I will share this on Zoom chat, but does anybody have any questions? I'm going to save this file and share on Zoom chat. The office will also share it, but I will share it as well. Okay. So you can download, but the office will also share it. Does anybody have any questions? If not, I can start today's test and then we can quickly, after the reading section, we can quickly try and, because we are practicing, we can quickly try and see if you understood the story. Remember that to write the report, understanding the story is important. If you don't understand the story and you're simply copying details from the reading, that is not enough to write the report, because तपाईले नबुझेर वर्ड्स मात्रै कपी गरिरहनुहुन्छ। त्यस्तो गर्यो भने तपाईले रिपोर्ट लेख्नुलाई एकदम गाह्रो हुन्छ, किन तपाईले स्टोरी नै बुझेको छैन, राइट? So तपाईले पोइन्ट्स टिप्ने बेलामा स्टोरी बुझ्नु पर्छ नि। If your reading speed is good, then it is very easy because you can read something very quickly. Okay, so if your reading speed is good, that will help you a lot. If your reading speed is a little slow, then you have to try and improve your reading speed. I guarantee you that now we have 6 days, but I've been saying this from the first day. Every day, read for 10 minutes. If you read for 10-15 minutes every day, that is more than sufficient to improve your reading speed. Even if your speed is slightly better than day one, that is still an improvement. Okay. So even now you have 1 week for your exam, little less than a week, your exam is on Sunday, but every day read for 10 minutes outside this practice test that we are doing. I promise you your speed will increase. If your speed increases, what it will allow you to do is you will be able to read something twice if you didn't understand. Okay, so that's why improving your reading speed is important. Unfortunately, for some things there is no shortcut, so practice is the only thing. However, one tip, for example, which I'll share with you today is when you are looking for questions. Okay, I'm just going to quickly share once yesterday's question. Okay, so we can just review that, and I'll tell you how to find the answers. Because remember, if you don't find even 60-70% of the answers, they will not even check your report. So in the first stage, you have to find the 10 answers. Okay, if you get 60 or 70% in those out of those 10 questions, then they will check your report. If you get only 40-50% of the answers correct, then they are not even going to check your report. Okay, so getting 60 to 70% in your initial 10 questions that you're answering for reading, that is very important. Okay, so for example, now here, yesterday's, I hope everybody can see this. Okay, I'm just going to give you some tips which will help you to quickly find the answers. I've also sent yesterday's report and answers on Zoom chat. Please download from there. Now, for example, when I'm looking at the question, okay, so if I just scan for the word confirm, okay, who did Piron ask to confirm that the men detained were involved in the fight? This technique in English is known as scanning. Scanning means looking for particular / specific words without thinking about the meaning. Don't worry about the meaning. When you're scanning, you're just moving your eyes on the text to find the word. Okay. How do you scan? Have you ever used a scanner? Has anybody used a scanner? No? Okay. How does a scanner move? Like this, right? Top to bottom, left to right. Okay. So your eyes should move on the text, top to bottom, left to right. Okay. So that is how you can scan, because when you scan, what happens is you can quickly find the word you're looking for and you can read and find the answer. Okay. So try to scan your text for questions. For those of you who, if your reading speed is not good enough, then scanning is a great technique to quickly find your answers. Okay. So what you should do is look for specific words. Okay. So for example, question number 1, who did Piron ask to confirm? So if I just go up and see, try and scan and look for the words confirm. Okay. So if I just look for the word confirm, where can I find this information? Okay, here. Piron confirmed with the train operator, right? I don't have to find the answers. It is not necessary to read the whole story. To find that is the first step, right? So to find the answers, just scan. Look for the key word in the question and try to find that word in the passage and try to read around that word to find the answer. That is scanning. Scanning karni bilama, don't worry about the meaning. Don't worry about if you understand the story. When you're scanning, your only aim is to find that word. Once I find the word confirm or the name Piron, then I can find the answer, right? Piron confirmed with the train operator. So today, if you're struggling to find the answers, for example, today, when you're reading, first complete the 10 questions, because I mean, whatever strategy works for you. Personally, I would read the story first because my reading speed is good. So I can read the story first and then write the answers. If you're somebody whose reading speed is slow, then first complete those 10 answers. Okay. Sometimes words are not the same. That is true, but mostly there is enough words that will help you to find the information. They are not completely different like in some other tests that I have seen, like IELTS or TOEFL, but similar meaning words. Quite often you can, 90% of the times I think you're looking for the exact same words. Maybe 10% of the time you're looking for a synonym. Okay. But synonyms are, that's why synonyms are important. Improving your vocabulary is important, so that if you're, for example, if you're looking for the word witness, then singular, plural, look for both, or look for the word who saw the incident. Okay. So that means the person who saw the incident is your witness. Okay. So if you understand the meaning of witness, that can also help you to find the word. Okay. So Dheeraj, you're right. Sometimes it's not right, but most of the questions I've seen, 90% of the questions, I think the words are the same. Okay. Sometimes what happens is in today's question, which we'll discuss after reading, in today's question, you have to kind of look at two places to find an answer for something. Okay. But we'll discuss that later. Okay. Okay. So scanning is a good technique to make sure that you're going to write the 10 answers, because that is your first step, that you have to gain 60 to 70%. Only then they will check your report. Okay. So that's why scanning is very important to find the answers quickly, especially if your reading speed is slow. Okay. Okay. I'm now going to share that today's test on Zoom chat. Everybody please download. And after today's test also, maybe before I share the script, I would like you to tell me which answer you did not find, for example. Okay. We'll discuss that after we finish the reading and listening. Okay. But right now, everyone, please download today's questions from Zoom chat. I've sent the question. Everyone, please download. Just tell me when you have downloaded so I can start the timer. Okay. Has everyone downloaded? Please reply. Some of you at least please reply yes or no so that I know you have downloaded the questions. The office will also send it. Academy will also send it on WhatsApp or Telegram. Yes. Okay. So some of you have replied that you have downloaded the file, which is great. So I hope you have downloaded and you're ready with your pen and paper to answer the questions. Remember the technique of scanning so that you can easily find the answer. Okay. I'm going to now start the timer for 20 minutes and you can start doing your reading test. Okay. 5 minutes left.